once again today. It's the number 19 USC Trojans versus the very young Bears of California. Both getting ready for conference play starting next week. We'll go back to serve the 5'9" junior out of Wayzata, Minnesota. And ripped down the line, Abigail Mullen right on cue to open things up for the Cardinal-clad Trojans.
And that's the exact shot we talked about. Mullen's ability to hit line as a right-handed, right-side attacker. Just a freshman showing a range.
Mullen averaging 3.3 kills per set. There is Mullen. Struggled in the first meeting against LSU, but really straightened it out on Friday night. Here is Megan Verbees, 5'6" grad defensive specialist out of Manhattan Beach. Back to serve.
Nice. Go, go, go! Nice.
Block touch, chased down by the Trojans. Trubant with the dig, and then that ball missed in transition. London Weejay wearing number 2 in Cardinal. Not good contact on that. We mentioned Brad Keller right before first serve, now in his 6th year. There has been a lot of continuity on the sideline for USC. Only 6 coaches in their entire history going back to 1976. Another story which we will detail for the Cal Bears. Here's Francesca Popescu, defensive specialist, 5'6" freshman out of Georgia. Tight pass, that can't be saved by Messer. Messer was back row there. It looked like they let her get away with that on the second contact. On the backslide, nicely done by number 8 in Cardinal. Mia Tverdi, 6'1" sophomore out of La Vista, Nebraska, a transfer from the University of Oregon.
Yeah, I love consecutive contacts there from Tverdi. She slowed down that initial block touch, transitions back out hard, and finds the A ball. That's the quick set just behind the head of the setter.
And Coach Keller telling us right before first serve, very cordially came over to say hello to you, not me necessarily, and saying that Tverdi was very, very good behind the setter and get an opening look there. Nice block on the outside. Mullen along with Tverdi.
There it is once more. Tverdi doing a solid job closing the seam here on this block. Look at this. She shifts, recognizing the out-of-system play. Quick double arm press over the net. A perfectly sealed play.
Small sample size here with just the 10th match, but USC is currently statistically the top blocking team in the country. And on the other sideline there is Jen Malcolm, an outstanding middle blocker at Iowa State, where she started her coaching career. Previously the associate head coach crosstown at UCLA, now in her 2nd season. 15-17 last year for Cal, along with a 7-13 record in the ACC. Very nice first contact by Mullen. The Bears in their road blue uniforms, and another block to Verdi along with Messer. And Messer, what kind of athlete is she at the setting position wearing number 3 in Cardinal?
Well, Brad Keller calls her maybe the most athletic setter that he's ever worked with, and that's saying something when you consider the territory. Micah Ma'a also in the mix that he has worked with, and one of the best men's setters you'll see in the game. As another press comes in the direction of SC. Right now they are just patrolling the net from right to left.
This time it's VJ number 2 at only lead for USC. They're 8-1. Only loss was crosstown at Loyola Marymount to BYU. All was a very good team, but Brad Keller said they weren't. BYU was good, which frustrated him.
Yeah.
Not a real sense of urgency in that particular match against a quality opponent, as Desjardins, 6'1" senior out of nearby Pasadena, goes back to serve. 53 swings 24 hours ago. The gift of youth for the quick recovery. Slam dink down the line that time by Weejay.
Talk about the gift of youth. Well, you're going to need it, especially playing 3 matches in 4 days. That is, for the women of Troy, a little bit of a challenge there. But there's the slightly out-of-system play. And Weejay, one of her best skills is just her ability to control the ball on some of those out-of-system plays.
Good start to her redshirt sophomore season, averaging just under 3 kills per set, hitting .291, a very, very solid number. 22-10 last year, 13-7 were the USC Trojans before they lost to Texas in the 2nd round of the NCAAs. Is this the year that the Trojans will make a deeper run? The year previously, they lost to the Pitt Panthers, who know a little bit of something about advancing in the NCAA tournament.
So far, what I'm seeing from Cal, Paul, is the fact that they've simply got to get in system. They have not found that first contact, and it's just made their offense far too predictable.
To your point, nicely done. A perfect pinpoint reception leading to a good attack out of the middle of the court.
A little bit of a missed contact there, but that's the danger you can find with the middle attack. It doesn't have to be perfect. Because it's coming so quickly at the defense, it really forces some of those shorter angles to have to play up and underneath that block.
Sawyer Thompson with the kill in that particular situation was good. Yesterday, late afternoon, 10 of 21 against LSU. Mullen down the line once again and missed it wide. Well left by the libero Johnson for Cal.
And in the same vein, I think if you were to speak to Brad Keller at this moment, their first contact is not where it needs to be, either running their offense from the 3-meter line right now.
Reception has been pretty good for the Trojans. I'll give you the numbers on the year as that ball sails long. USC passing good or perfect at 52.3%. Cal significantly better at 56. That's an improvement. And here is Messer at the line for the first time. Good reception once again, spread out the block, but boy, the outside blockers right now. Adanya Fomoina back in the starting lineup since struggling early in the season out of nearby Long Beach. 6'1" redshirt junior with a block.
And perfect in-system pass. The only issue is the tempo to this right side is pretty high, allowing for that block to have plenty of time to close down the right side.
Cal's offense has been struggling, 11.2 kills per set and hitting only $154. That's a number that's going to need a lot of work. There is USC. We mentioned just a couple of ticks ahead of Maryland and Indiana as the #1 blocking team in the country. They were 4th best overall at the end of last season. Good stab by Desjardins, keeping the ball off the floor for Cal. Ball missed out of bounds, a couple of unforced errors. Perfectly set up that time, Cameron, but cut cross court out of bounds by McGinnis.
I know that point didn't go the direction of USC, but Keller has to be happy with what he saw from Fomoina on that last play. She didn't get the set she needed. She kept the ball in play. Another funky one at the net. She comes down and plays a simple first contact, get the offense back into a
service error by Dominique Fils for the first time. 6'1" sophomore out of Pearland, Texas. Pearland, Texas, transfer from Iowa, and Jen Malcolm in her second year as head coach for the California Golden Bears. Got to put on service pressure. Got to be much better in that area, and Brad Keller would say the same thing about his Trojans. 10-8 is the advantage. Deckert, a little bit tight. Weejay off the block. Good deflection by Cal. Right side to Mullen. Good cover by Trubant. Good work by both teams at the defensive end. And USC, after a little bit of an abbreviated pillow fight, will come out on top.
Lots of coverage from the backcourt defenders. There's the first from Gala Trubant. And another quick stab there from Mullen. The pancake might have been the highlight of that last series, even though Cal didn't come away with it.
Another service error, maybe too many of those early on. 3 for Cal and now 3 for Brad Keller's Trojans. Once again, they come in ranked number 19. They were picked to finish 6th in the Big Ten. Deckert, medium pass, and trying to make the connection out of the middle. McGinnis not quite there with Messer.
This has been the focal point in practice this week, your connection with your middle. And this is a challenging set, about 7 feet off the net, and it's a back set. So coming over the off shoulder of the middle attack, not easy to find that connection, but that's where this offense can really grow throughout the season.
Too many errors here early on both sides from the service line. If you ask Jen Malcolm, I think she would say so. There is Verbeest wearing number 4 in the Cardinal jerseys for USC.
Gonna be 4 contacts.
Course of the contest. Tight pass. and put quickly to the 4 by 55 in blue. Peyton Desjardins.
The target right now for Cal is the DS and libero on USC side. Gala Troubent, the DS, getting this first contact.
Desjardins right there on the overpass. Very nice play in system. Weejay dug in the backcourt by Phils. Desjardins again. Boy, they are really trying to milk that back setter backslide. Why is the combination, or why is that particular play not working for the Trojans right now?
So I don't mind running the middle when you're off the net, but the challenge with running a back set when you're off the net is you can't see the attacker coming in. So to understand where that spacing and timing is, you're setting a blind ball to an attacker.
5-1 run now for Cal. Take the advantage. Weejay up into the top of the block, coming overhead, no to Mullen, back to Weejay, and through the block and down. Number 2 for USC.
And I will say, I still like the A attack in transition, but that comes with a lot of experience, a lot of reps alongside your middles.
Abigail Mullen back to serve. Already with 10 aces so far, make it 11 on the year for the freshman out of Kansas City. First team high school All-American and under 19 world champion for the United States.
Beautiful movement on that serve. That's why you call it a float serve, from left to right, really forcing that serve receive to have their platform to perfection.
Oh, nothing wrong with that connection.
And I'm saying, if you have that, actually having 7 as opposed to 4 on the other side. Cal has been struggling again with their serve reception, as they do once again.
Brad Keller in front of us, pumping his fist. Very happy. The first time I saw Abigail Mullen for the first time in person against Creighton, the first ball she served, I went, yeah, okay, that works.
Very linear and flat. It really drops out of the bottom, struggling on that first contact. That time trying to find the deep shoulder of the serve receiver. As
the one and only Karch Kirai used to tell me, now the coach of the men's indoor Olympic team when he was coaching the women, we want flean, flat and clean.
I like that.
And we want to serve 90% in. That was another caveat.
Beautiful pass.
Yeah, Troubent right there, and Taverdi's got a really good-looking arm. Mia Taverdi, sophomore out of Nebraska, high school All-American, 14 matches last year for Oregon before coming over to the Trojans.
Again, they keep her in front. Beautiful spacing on that middle attack. Troubent opening up those shoulders and creating a perfect pass.
17-14 is the advantage. Nice offense that time, and then ripped down the line by Dominique Phils.
That is the kind of offense you want to see if you're a fan of the Golden Bears. Starts with a perfect pass off the left side, jump set, and a one-on-one opportunity. You want to score 100% of the time on those.
Tough serve, overpass coming, joust with Messer. Talk about the athleticism of number 3, winning the stare down that time. She loved it.
Brad Keller asked me what I thought about his setter. Messer, I said, she's more physical than I anticipated. This is the perfect example why. Going up and just holding, pressing those shoulders, and working on that core strength.
There is the libero Deckert. That was a very easy serve. You can tell the difference on the eyeball test between Mullen right now, Deckert, at least for the last attempt. Fomuina going high flat, number 1 for USC.
Her focus has been trying to maintain her composure, her control. Brad Keller saying she's recently just been seeing red as an attacker, going almost primal. This out on the sand.
Yeah, that was a good draft choice.
Another great Trojan. It's one of those few times you really don't want to have a missed time, or excuse me, a missed serve coming out of a timeout.
Yeah.
One of the Cardinal sins.
Speaking of Cardinal, head coach Brad Keller just slammed his fist on the scorer's table right in front of us on that miscue from the service line. Boy, this is sloppy serving from both teams.
It has been throughout the entirety of this first set. We saw a couple strong daggers from Mullen down the line, from the service line, but that's been about the highlight from that spot thus far.
10 service errors, 5 each. Ball off the block and just out of bounds. McGinnis there with Fomuina. That was very, very close to the sideline, but we will not have a challenge. You can challenge touch off the block, net violation, ball in or out, foot falls on the service line and 3-meter line. You can also challenge for contacts, and now you can challenge what happens at the net, if you will, on the double contact. That would take some time to explain. Nice pass by Fomoina. Cover by Deckert. And nice hard swing. Desjardins off the edge of the block that time, number 55 in blue.
There's definitely an opportunity for Cal right now to take advantage. Desjardins finds just the edge of Fomoina.
Phil's back to serve for Cal, now trailing by 2. Been so far an opening set of runs. Perfect pass and beautiful kill out of the middle by McGinnis.
I always like running this gap set. You can see McGinnis about 7 feet away from the setter, really forcing the seam between the two blockers, the right side as well as the middle blocker for Cal.
McGinnis hitting at a 360 clip so far in the non-conference. Last non-conference matchup for each of these teams, both starting conference play next week. The Trojans at Penn State and Ohio State. Desjardins thought that was a pretty good swing, but missed the top.
Yeah, she was a pleasure to watch play volleyball.
Family affairs here at USC today. We'll talk more about that as the match goes on. Good play and good response out of the middle for the Cal Bears, currently coming in with a record of 3-6. They have lost 4 in a row, and yesterday late afternoon probably concluded about 6 o'clock local time. 3-2, 15-13 in the 5th to LSU. Nice rhythm and Weejay down the line. Very nice delivery by Messer.
You said it, rhythm, and that's about a 25-foot set as Messer's falling away here. Watch how she's really able to use her hand strike to push this ball all the way to the outside. Good lift, creating an opportunity back down the line with a nice swing.
Last 10 swings, no errors for USC. That was not the issue earlier on. Reese Messer, very physical. You've already seen that. 5'11" freshman out of the Kansas City area. Gatorade Player of the Year in Kansas.
To your point about the midpoint of this first set, they had 7 errors and now still sitting at 7 errors.
Exactly right. That's nice looking rhythm there, but missed once again by Desjardins.
Thought there could have been a touch. Desjardins has been forced to go up against a double block almost every single attack. It's a significant challenge for an outside.
First of 5 set points for Beast on to serve. Pretty good reception by Phils. And tracked down, good hustle by Trubant. And 1 set point saved by the visitors from Cal. Cal now competing out of the ACC along with Bay Area mate Stanford. Francesca Popescu, 5'6" freshman out of Georgia, on to serve. Set point again for the Trojans. Trubant right on target. Taverdi is dug. Chance again for Cal to stay in. The block of USC was the story of this opening set early on, and it's the story to close it out. Really good blocking. 6 blocks for USC 10 set. And Bella Trubant on to serve, last year's libero, and has been replaced for the moment by Taylor Deckert. But that's a really strong bookend. Remember the littles that became college volleyball talking point for Nebraska? That's what Brad Keller wants to do with Trubant and Deckert.
Yeah, you should feel good about your side-out ability, having both of them in with that first contact. However, right now, not looking like the case after the first 2 points.
Working on Weejay in reception and also in attack, and coming on to serve once again. Sophia Johnson, 5'9" junior out of Minnesota, had 25 digs earlier on in a loss. Another 5-set match to Vandy. Passes good or perfect at 67%. That's just too much heat that time by Mullen on the outside.
Interestingly enough, too, when you talk to Brad Keller about working with Reese Messer, he said he doesn't really spend that much time on the technical aspect. But what you can see from a technical aspect on that set, she goes off 1 foot against the grain. Beautiful delivery, even turning those shoulders to find her attacker as she finishes that back set. It's a thing of beauty. And to finish my thought on that, it's not to say that they don't work on the technical, but it also allows Messer to play in what Brad Keller calls kind of this free flow state, saying she's athletic, she has this vision innately, and he just wants her to exist in that space as a freshman setter. Understandably so.
Yeah, Popescu on to serve. I mean, USC does have some pretty good tradition at the setting position. There have been some incredibly competent players in that particular role through the decades. And she is the latest, comes in very, very highly regarded. Another miss down the line. Mullen has missed wide a couple of times on that swing. Ball drifts just long. 6 service errors so far for Cal. Popescu trying to put some service pressure on, and the ball drifted just a little bit long as Abigail Mullen, with 11 aces and already won earlier in the first set, goes back to serve. Mullen now just 2 of 8 in the attack phase and a couple of errors. Trojans, can they take advantage of the free ball? They can on the slide. Mia Taverdi again.
And there's a different approach to running the A attack. So you called it a slide, and that's exactly right. She's going off 1 foot, but this is near the setter. Just a bit of a drift A on the slide. Look at this, off 1 foot, and finds that back into the cross court. About a half rotation for their middle back, so some space down the line. That was
Arissa Carbonara out of Cairo, Texas. Part of this outstanding freshman class for Jen Malcolm, and more coming in the years ahead for Cal. Oh, smart shot. Tucking down inside is Mullen.
And again, you saw it on that last play. Cal continuing to try and find that ball back down the line. USC having to force the sprint down to create some out-of-system opportunities in transition.
Carbonara has come on to replace Desjardins. Very hittable set in transition, but missed out of bounds by Famuina.
Cal doing a better job with their block, and particularly the serve. Being able to keep that serve in the court and put some pressure on allows that block to get to work.
Michaela Hayden, number 7 in blue, back to serve. 11 kills yesterday afternoon against LSU. Oh, that had some pop and some confidence in it by number 1 for USC.
She pairs the error with this. That's some pop if I've ever heard it. Famuina just unleashing down the line and on a tempo set.
Another miss wide by USC. The middle combination just not there so far. We've seen some good ones from Taverdi, but some unforced errors that need to be cleaned up by USC.
Trying to find McGinnis again in that gap set. That means she's further to that left side, less room to work to the sideline.
Here's Sturbu out of Bucharest, Romania, part of the Romanian national team. Interesting story. And there are lots of them around college sports. Jen Malcolm found Sturbu and went over to Bucharest to recruit her new setter. By Reese, and Mullen off the tape and out of bounds. Again, Sturbu comes to Cal and gets the chance to play right away. Analea Mader transferred to Creighton, so it opened things up, and Coach Malcolm knew that she needed at least a backup coming in to fill in for Natalie Lau. And now Sturbu's in the lineup.
Yeah, and she does a nice job kind of flinging the ball around, according to her coach. An area of focus, just like on the opposite side of the net, is trying to find opportunities to set her middles.
Boy, I love that set that time by Messer. Good dig into the cross court by Cal. And a better block. Riley McGinnis wearing number 22. Her very famous father, Willie, would be happy with that.
Check this out. Nothing better than a solo block as a middle. Perfect read. She sees just slightly off the net, delays her block, and it pays off. The 7th block now for the women of Troy.
And nobody happier than Adanya Fomowina, who made a mistake and pulled off the net and got bailed out.
What a dig.
Quick transition and a smart shot. Marissa Carbonara, the 6'1 freshman, nice job. 19 kills earlier this year, if you will, against UC Davis.
It's a really heads-up play there as that ball just comes back quickly, recognizing defense does not have time to settle themselves.
There's into the NCAA tournament, 2nd round each of the last 2 seasons. Will this be the year they move on farther? Nice chop into the cross court.
When you get one-on-ones, that means one attacker versus one blocker. The advantage should go to the attacker every single time. You have just more room to work. And how this is set up? Well, your setter creating a deceptive ball. So keeping those hands in front from Sturbu and then throwing that ball back behind her head.
Here's Popescu, who talked about how young both of these teams are. That was Anne-Marie O'Gara, freshman out of Arizona. And this is a very young Cal team. They were picked to finish 14th in the ACC.
When you have someone like Mullen on the right side, you need a setter who can set a back set to perfection. This one, again, flinging this off of 1 foot, right shoulder send, and a ball that is out of system turned in system.
Mullen now 3 kills on 11 swings, but also 3 errors. Missed a couple down the sideline. As Carbonaro will go back to serve.
You see Gala Truban taking an extra second there with their team in the huddle after too many missed serves on the side of USC.
14 missed serves combined, 7 each. Excellent reception, good soft block. And on the slide, that's the best transition play we've seen so far. The kill by Michaela Hayden, but a really good delivery from Sturbu.
In talking to Jen Malcolm, she said, watch Hayden on the slide, one of the best slide attackers, and a skill needed to have a great slide attacker is somebody with great patience, their ability to read the set and then chase after it, going off of 1 foot. You see that there from Hayden.
Medium reception, good pace to the outside. Covered. Weejay, good reception. Carbonaro with a dig. Block once again, the blocking for the Trojans right now by a very narrow margin, statistically the best blocking team in the country.
Here's the first cover from Deckert. And the block on the other side. Here we go. USC, once again, you can see why that block is so formidable. It all starts before it ever gets to the attacker. That first read.
Oh, missed out of bounds. Dominic Phils missed that wide. Pretty good delivery that time, once again by Sturbu.
One aspect of blocking, of great blocking teams that goes underrated is their discipline. That time not reaching outside of their body line and getting tooled.
Free ball to the Trojans. Not a perfect first contact out of that free ball. Carbonaro with a roll. Nice stab that time by Deckert. Fantastic defensive effort. Right back at you by Popescu on the cover. And Deckert can't get that ball up. It's a small thing, but first ball contact in rally and in a free ball situation, gotta be perfect.
Well, there's the first save from Deckert, and what I'm impressed with is both teams really leveling up their offense. Cal not necessarily winning with tempo, however, it's the decision-making that's helping them to have this 2-point advantage from Sturbu. Set selection, so imperative.
Deckert, perfect pass, and Messer will take advantage on the second contact.
Just when you think you've seen everything from Messer, she's going to show you she's got an offensive weapon as well. Have yet to see her go up for a setter dump. This is with her left hand. She's got plenty of force.
Decker misses that long. Serve right now, a work in progress for the outstanding freshman libero out of Manhattan Beach, Taylor Deckard. Cal got out to the quick 4-1 lead, and it has been USC battling back ever since, now trailing 14-12. Good touch out of the middle by Thompson. And once again, the USC block controlling right now the rhythm and feel of this set. Oh, nice swing out of the back row. London Weejay with the kill.
But you also have to credit Cal. I know they don't walk away with that point, but what happens when you've got a great blocking team on the other side of the net? You have to find ways to extend rallies. How do you get that done? Coverage plays, and I feel like this team is working hard to get up and underneath those blocks.
That's a good point. 8 total blocks now, scoring blocks for USC. Ball on Messer, Deckard stepping in. And Fomoina going off speed. And off the top of the tape and out of bounds. Pretty good delivery, and Mullen. Not the Sawaras. And they're probably as well with the Shojis out of Hawaii. Kavika and Eric and their dad.
Coming back out of the timeout with a massive block, and you better watch out if you are USC. Cal's starting to have a little momentum and energy. Block points like that can be page turners.
Jen Malcolm has gone into her depth a little bit, bringing in Carbonara along with Anne-Marie O'Gara and getting some production. Slowing things down a little bit. Nice combination play, and that ball, nice dig. You still got it. There you go, Cam. I wouldn't have had that. I lost the pokey a long time ago.
I got to protect my partner.
There you go. 16-14, the advantage for Cal. USC in control behind their big block. Won the opening set 25-20. There's Fomoina. That's an easy serve and perfectly handled. And just missed out of bounds. Sawyer Thompson, the 6'3 junior out of Kansas, missed it just long.
They need to get more balls to the middle of the court, and so far, number 15 is where they've been looking. 8 total attempts, just 2 kills on her numbers.
Fomoina started most of last year back into the starting lineup after a slow start to this particular season. That ball looked like it was down. Maybe we'll have another challenge.
Sills with a wild dig on that last ball.
Nice stab by Deckard. Weejay wristing over the top, and that ball can't be tracked down by Sturbu, and we're going to have another challenge. Most interesting coach calls you will ever be a part of. That's not to slight anybody else. He's just a very interesting coach. Nice play. Beautiful reach into the cross court by Hayden.
After this week, I think we have to buy him a new iron.
That was an interesting part of the conversation. Might as well tell that story.
The poor man burned his pants with his iron.
His iron broke, and he does all his own ironing. So that became a thing the other day. That was on game day, too, if you don't have enough to think about. Carbonara with a kill into the cross court, 17 in blue for the Bears.
Yeah, she really has changed this second set. Carbonara going up big, finding the high, deep angle. And
refocus, come out and start things over, particularly out of a timeout where your team's been struggling a little bit. And I wanted to ask you, nice block touch. We'll talk about it after this particular play. And once again, the USC block keeps them alive. McGinnis, number 22, with the stuff. Difference on either side in this second set.
On the side of Cal, I think it's been a bit more of the continuation of play while also keeping the ball in the court. Their serve struggled in the first set. Second set, they've been able to manage a bit better, but also their offensive decision-making from Sturbu, creating some one-on-one opportunities.
Sense of urgency on both sides as conference play starts next week. For SC, it's at Penn State and Ohio State. Nicely done by Weejay. Weejay now with 7 kills on 22 swings.
Weejay with great vision as she goes up to find the swing. She will have a double block in front, but look at the small seam that she's able to just wiggle that ball through.
Save for a position or two. This is a really young Cal team. We'll see how they respond to the block pressure applied by the Trojans. Good set in transition. Mullen not in rhythm right now offensively with Messer. But the block certainly is. What a good block by Taverdi with some help from Abigail.
Are as such. There's a bit of separation, I think, in the middle of the Big Ten right now, where it could really be anybody's game, and Purdue is a perfect example of that, now currently sitting at the 11th ranked team in the country.
USC was picked to finish 6th. Last year, the Big Ten Conference put 9 teams into the NCAA tournament. Chance in transition. Weejay somehow finds a very minute seam through the Cal block.
Weejay attacking just slightly on her way down, which creates a different timing on the block as well. Watch as she goes up and starts to fall. So the blockers need to be aware of her timing as an attacker as well.
Now tied at 19. Pressure on this young Cal team. Good response by Johnson in the reception. And into the cross court. Carbonara had been dealing with some injury problems in and out of the lineup, but looked very good there, 17 in blue.
They run her with a bit more tempo to the pin as opposed to the other attackers.
Francesca Popescu, defensive specialist, 14 digs, a season high against Vandy. Love to see Vanderbilt back in the college volleyball mix. Starting their program, had some nice results early on. Nice dig by Johnson right on cue. Carbonara can't get the ball past Mia Taverdi.
You want to talk about some efficient footwork. That block has been impressive, as well as the defense on the side of Cal, another area that they've stepped up from the backcourt as well as the block. There's another dig. They call her Johnny. She comes up big with that dig on the left back corner.
Beautiful slide, but dug down the line by Deckert. And smartly off the block and out of bounds once again by Arissa Carbonara.
They've been going up and just recognizing that USC block. Again, with so many on the other side, they've got to find ways to score points. So I like kind of that press off, making them look for a different type of attack.
Once again, Cal looking for offense. They've got to replace the numbers for Maggie Lee, who transferred to UCLA. She was among the leaders, if not the kill leader in the ACC last year at 4.1, now cross town for Alfie Reft and the Bruins, who've been kind of a mystery so far, in my opinion, in the non-conference.
I'm looking at USC's current rotation as they are sitting in 5, which means Mullen is in the backcourt, right back corner. Watch for the D ball, meaning the pipe attack from the right side of the court.
UCLA at Stanford later today. Hustle by Deckert, but another smart off-speed shot, that time by Dominique Fills. Gets to the floor.
Another one of those shots from the outside down the line. They've had pretty significant success at getting, whether it's a point or USC out of system with that shot.
Smart shot, get ahead in the point. Well handled by Weejay, and down the line, one-on-one.
That's the second time we've seen Bo Moina go up and turn and crank down the line. I love her on this quick set. A zero-tempo ball, perfectly delivered.
Tied once again at 22, and number 10, Fills. Good smart shot into the deep cross-court corner.
There's a miscue on the USC block there. Again, Cal out of system. Whenever you see a setter chasing a ball off the first contact, you want to start to drift your block and push them towards that outside, as it's going to be one of those balls pushed all the way to the outside attack.
Neither team exactly on fire offensively, but Cal is certainly up their game at the offensive end. Reception is good, and McGinnis a touch off the top of the block, no question. Cal hitting at 111, USC only 083 before that kill by number 22. Father Willie McGinnis, tremendous All-American here on the football field, 3-time Super Bowl champion for New England. Good serve. And a slam dink through the block and still kept alive by Mullen. Dominique Fills.
Paul, we don't even have a call. We just chuckled. The pancake attack. I have not seen something like this in a minute. almost a float for SC here, meaning Fomoina is now on the right side on this initial attack. Mullen on the outside. 2 big targets for Messer to work with.
That is not, sometimes misses are good. That was not a good miss. And Dominique Bills knows it.
But I like this. Her coaching staff goes immediately back to her, gives her the high five and says, now we need you to pass this ball.
USC looking for their first lead of the set. Nice play, beautiful delivery, not only on the first ball reception, but also getting the ball to Thompson.
Perfect pass, and you looked for the one-on-one. How can you create one-on-ones? Well, when you know the USC block is immediately on the pins going towards each sideline.
Set point number 2, Deckert. Pretty good reception. That was a tough serve, and Mullen responds down the line. And it has not been a very good afternoon so far for Abigail Mullen. That was a pressure swing.
I don't think USC's passing has been up to par in this match so far. So Mullen has had to deal with some passes and sets that are off the net. That's a challenging thing as a right-handed attacker on the right side.
Mullen now 4 of 20 with 5 errors. Tied again. Out of system. Good high swing, restart the point. Sherbu with the delivery, Carbonara is dug. And then Messer and Weejay misconnection on the quick set to the outside.
Cal with a critical set point here.
It is their third. Popescu back at the line.
Mullen in the right front corner. I envision she is the target.
Working on Weejay. That's a good choice as well. Good stab dig by Popescu. And that's off the top of the block. Big swing by number 30, Sherlyn Antonio, redshirt senior, coming in. Her first swing of the match so far. From being the associate head coach at UCLA. Pushed some buttons, made some changes that have really been positive for Cal. Just underway, third set. Love by Deckert. Nice reaction by McGinnis. Not a good delivery that time by Messer. And good tap down. Out of the middle, working hard. Michaela Hayden, 6'1" senior out of Beaufort, Georgia.
USC, from set number 2, it appears as if their blockers are starting to work more with a dedicated spread block. So initially on that first setter contact, they are just booking it to the pins. Hence, Cal utilizing their middle was a big factor in that second set. I would love to see them continue to try and take advantage there.
Early service error by Cal. That was a big story and not a good one in this match early on. Both teams have cleaned that up. Cal now with 10 service errors and 8 for USC. Here's Megan Verbeest. Does a job for the Trojans at the defensive end. That was well done from the service line. Ball set too tight in transition. Weejay trying to keep that ball alive. Verbeest would like to have that one back. Transition setting is a very, very important skill.
Yeah, without question. And I wonder, too, part of it is obviously knowing where your attackers are. Are they set? Is it a full approach that I'm giving them? And what's the opposing block look like? There's a lot going on for a setter in trans.
Good block move by Cal. And that ball thrown down nicely by Tverdi.
I will say it feels like for USC that they're playing to not make an error versus playing really free. You can feel a little bit of that tightness. Everyone trying to be perfect on whether it's the contact of the pass or the set and even the attack. I would love to see just a little bit more freedom of mind as they go and play. Nice play by Tverdi. Got a very active arm. Mullen immediately getting Cal out of system. Carbonara, nice dug by Deckert. Cal's block is doing a better job. Maybe not another poor set in transition. Got to keep that ball off the net.
That's a good one from deep. Carbonera again getting a lot of exercise in this particular rally. One-on-one blocked by Messer.
Messer, good vision. You can see that huge shoulder turn before going up to the swing block. A little bit more of an undersized setter, so you want to do everything you can to increase that vertical versus just a static block. She uses the swing to full effect.
Good reception by Popescu. Oh, look out. After a very, very tough serve by Mullen. That ball ripped down the line. Taylor Deckert took a shot. She seems to be no worse for wear. Easy for me to say. We talked about Mullen, 4 of 22 attacking, but she does have 3 aces and 7 digs and 5 blocks. That one hurt from here.
Yeah, that one just sucked the air out of the room.
Good sportsmanship that time by Hayden, immediately checking to see that Deckert was all right. Service ace.
In order to flip the script for USC, it's almost as if you have to go full counterintuitive here. To be able to play free, you have to want the ball. You have to imagine this ball is actually inbounds regardless of how close that is. You just have to go and take it.
Carbonera has been good off the bench now for Cal. It's strong at the service line. Mullen is blocked.
Someone's got to step up for USC.
Yep. The tension on USC's side. They give Cal a lot of credit. They dropped the opening set 25-20. USC blocked them out of the set. And they have bounced back nicely. And Jen Malcolm has changed her lineup a little bit to very, very good effect. Nice play by Weejay down the line, number 2 for USC.
Paul, you mentioned the block of Cal, and that has stood out here early in the 3rd set. As here's the set to Weejay. Good tempo. They're leaving the line attack. Weejay takes full advantage.
Weejay now 9 of 26, leading in attacks by quite a large margin. On the slide, a block again. Fomoena that time along with Taverdi.
Going up, use that block as a momentum builder. Offensively, it is just not working on the side of USC right now, so you have to hang your hat defensively. Score points up at the net.
Give you the block totals in just a minute. And that ball tucked down inside Taverdi. 12 blocks now for USC to 3 for Cal. On the year, we talked about USC struggling, hitting 264 on the year. They're hitting 089 so far on the afternoon. Hayden with the serve. And the slam dink. That one thrown down very nicely by Adonia Fomoena.
And this is where leaders really start to separate themselves. When you're looking for an identity as a team, as it's still early in this season, moments of adversity like this for USC, where their offense is not firing on all cylinders, who are you going to look to and who's going to step up and take advantage? And that's true on both sides of the net. Even for Cal right now, they faced plenty of adversity with their youthful roster in the early season. And right now, they've got a big opportunity to create some identity on their side.
A very concerned Brad Keller. Conference play beginning on the weekend. Mullen out of the back row and missed that out of bounds. Continues to struggle offensively. As good as she has been, we featured her before first serve for a reason. She's been a really good freshman attacker.
Now with 7 errors on her side.
Weejay out of the back row, cross court, and missed that as well.
Looking all around on the side of USC, trying to figure out who's going to put the ball away. Fomoena, excuse me, is at 400. She might be my target.
5 of 10 with just 1 error. Good eye that time by Deckert.
For USC. Another good target here would be McGinnis on a gap set.
Decker, chance now for the Trojans, one-on-one. Again, timing not there. Beautiful sprawl by Johnson with the pancake, but Cal cannot continue. What do you see between Messer right now and Abigail Mullen? They played together in juniors. They've spent a lot of time together in spite of the fact they're just starting their collegiate careers together. Why struggling today?
I think one of the challenging aspects of finding a setter-hitter connection is that you're both trying to make adjustments at the same time, and it almost has to be one person, not both. So, again, to continue the thought is, if the set is either too quick or too low, then adjust the set, not necessarily the approach. And right now it feels like both the setter and attacker are trying.
9, Reese Messer, the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Kansas last year, back to serve, the #2 overall setting recruit in the country. Nice play by McGinnis. And again, Riley McGinnis just taking over.
Yeah, with really active hands, too. She's going up not just with the intention to block the ball, but she's going up with the intention to throw that ball back down on the side of the Cal Golden Bears. A really nice back-to-back blocking move from McGinnis.
USC on a 4-0 run. They won the opening set 25-20. Good response by Cal, 27-25 in the second. Here we are at a set apiece. Boy, Johnson, nice-looking receiver with that first contact for Cal. And then on the overpass, ball put away by O'Gara.
Sturbu, you got to love the energy there from number 9 as she throws that ball, back to the right side.
Here's Phils for Cal. And another ball served out of bounds, trying to serve tough, but error rate just a little too high today for both teams, quite frankly. Right to Phils, easily handled. Good set in transition by the libero and better block. Messer having to play it. Weejay tucking down inside.
To Cal's credit, I know USC picks up the point, but in the same vein, Cal trying to get back underneath some of those big-time blocks and extend their rallies. They are just simply not going away right now.
Good block touch by McGinnis. Ball set a little bit too tight. Weejay able to snap over the top. And McGinnis again. Connection not there. Ball hit out of bounds.
Yeah, that time in system, but just a little too quick for McGinnis. She was up nice and early, but it was almost a hair too early.
Well, going all the way back to the package that we showed on Reese Messer before first serve, you talked about the middle connection that was the good version and the not so good version.
Space and timing. That time, perfect set. Should be able to be right on top of your setter.
Weejay looking for hands and missed that out of bounds. Tied at 12. Sophia Johnson, the libero, averaging 3.3 digs per set. Also has 9 aces so far on the year.
Keep battling, Thompson. Keep battling. Gail, great set.
That's good set and timing. Mullen needed that, and so did USC.
For an attacker like Mullen, you want to be able to get this ball pushed out to the pin to allow the line shot to an easier degree. As a right-handed attacker on the right side, it's got to pass your off shoulder, so anything your setter can do to get that further to the pin to open up some space will help you out scoring points.
Misconnection out of the middle that time between Sturbu, the new setter out of Romania, and looking into the middle for Michaela Hayden.
A critical juncture right now in this match, Paul. Really, this could go either direction. 12-14 here in the third set, tied at 1 set apiece. I feel like this game and this match is looking for its star.
It's a really good point, because when you think about it, I mean, USC wants to go into conference play with some rhythm and confidence, and Cal could spoil that. Cal wants to do the same, and they've lost 4 in a row. After the joust, ball to the floor, and we've come to the autos abound. But Paula Wyssoff was MVP of the '92 Olympic Games. And that ball missed out of bounds off the right side by O'Gara.
Since that timeout, a noticeable energy change on the side of USC. A little bit more optimism on each of those points, coming back into the huddle, trying to add that in full circle. Says he doesn't do it as much anymore.
5-point advantage, now make it 4 after the nice kill off the left side. Peyton Desjardins, who'd been very, very good last night, albeit in a losing effort, started the match, struggled, and now back in.
Goes wrist away. You can see how the USC block really trying to force that block, or excuse me, that attack back cross court.
Still time for Cal. Thrown into the middle, Taverdi. Like that connection. Messer to Taverdi from well off the net.
That's the pinnacle of what you're looking for a setter to middle connection. Watch this from Messer. She's from 9 feet off and then delivers a ball that's drifted away from her body. That's keeping that steady triangle.
Really good serve by Mullen. Cal scrambling. Back to Mullen. Open down the line, dug by Johnson, the libero for Cal. Good block by Cal. 2 players there for the Trojans. Would like to have that one back. Messer and Taverdi trying to get there in coverage.
Cal not necessarily coming away with a ton of stuff blocks, but to your point, several touches to try and slow down the offense of SC.
Danny Thomas Nathan coming on now. 6-foot senior out of Burbank. Boy, if you're Cal, you got to go right after. She's been sitting on the sideline for a long time. And in reception, and they do. Deckert steps in front. Beautiful swing off the edge. Nice delivery, and London Weejay with a kill.
I love this move from Deckert, recognizing her teammate coming onto the floor for the first time and says, hey, don't worry, partner. I'll take some of that seam for you, if not all of it.
Weejay now with a dozen kills on 33 swings. Block deflection, good first contact chance on the slide. Deckert, nice hustle. Weejay on the chase. Beautiful slide. Good delivery that time by Stierbu. And off the edge by Hayden, number 7.
Here's that play from Deckert again. With the short ball coming from the middle of the court, she stays steady defensively as they continue to work with this slide attack.
Charlene Antonio, who put away set point in the opener, number 30, coming back on. Give a little more offense to Cal. 19-15 is the advantage for USC. 8-1 on the year, ranked number 19. Good reception, very good pass. Oh, and that one delivered hard down the line by Taverdi. Looks across immediately to make sure that Michaela Hayden is okay.
I was hoping for the slide here with the setter front row Messer. You're going to get an opportunity to really work behind the setter. Slides are tough to block because it's a moving target constantly. It's a lateral approach versus a vertical approach coming into the net.
And really good reception by Danny Thomas Nathan, who just come on the floor for USC. Free ball. Nathan steps right in. Good block again for USC. Joust, and Messer's very good. Reese Messer is very good on the joust. Setters just love that, don't they, Cameron?
I feel like we always just have a chip on our shoulder, right? I use the we. I mean, I've been setting for a decade.
Well, but nobody's in more Jafar, number 11 in the country, as conference play begins. We have to do a really interesting story. We talked about it earlier, losing their 2 All-American outside hitters and now ranked number 11 in the country. That's another very famous volleyball family, the Shondells. Don Shondell, the godfather of volleyball in the Midwest, Dave Shondell. So that ball luckily tucked inside and outside the antenna. A lucky bounce that time for Dominique Phils, registering the kill.
Now seeing 2 triple blocks for USC, meaning all 3 of their blockers coming to the outside and putting up 6 hands as opposed to 4 for the attackers of Cal.
Not a lot of college teams do that. It's difficult to transition out of a 3-person block, 3-woman block. 22-15 is the advantage. Nice pass by Weejay, and McGinnis in, but also off the hands of the blocker for Cal.
That's definitely where she's most comfortable offensively, is finding that gap ball. It's flatter and away from the setter. So instead of a quick set, just about a foot away from a setter, this ball is about 5 to 7 feet, and it really allows you more time to get up and see the block in front.
And Messer just long, but still a comfortable lead, 23-17 for USC.
Service errors on SC's side, now 10 as opposed to 12 from Cal.
Brad Keller thinking about a lot of things going on with his team right now. Deckard good in reception and good cross body. That's the difference you talked about before first serve. Mediocre connection as opposed to really good effective connection.
Yes, this isn't so much a gap set as she stays a bit closer. It's a bit more of a drift, a ball that's 3 feet away. And McGinnis just clearly way more comfortable on a ball that kind of is up and down and hangs, as opposed to that quick set right out of the setter's hands.
Back-to-back service errors, first by Messer and now by Fomoina, but still a handful and then some. A handful plus a pinky of set points here for USC. Good pass by Weejay into the middle and close it out. Why not go again? Messer into the middle of McGinnis.
I love the execution there again, just nice.
And a couple of solo blocks. She's a very impressive athlete, as Brad Keller re-emphasized. Compared her to Micah Ma'a, now an Olympian, Micah Christensen, getting ready to play in his 4th, if not 5th Olympic Games, along with her predecessor Mia Tuaniga as well in the setting category for USC.
USC able to find a bit more of offensive rhythm, hit 276 last set.
Going middle once again. Nice reaction by Sturbu. Deckard, very composed first contact, and that ball just off the edge that time at number 17, Carbonara.
I will say it seems as if Messer has also started to push that ball with a bit more tempo all the way to the extension of the pin here on the right side. This is a good look at it. See how that ball up, down, but all the way out, so that Mullen has the ability to swing down the line.
Mullen now 8 kills on 29 swings, but it's been a tough afternoon in the air category. Give Cal's defense some credit on that. Popescu will come in and serve, just underway here at the Galen Center in the 4th set. Brad Keller and the Trojans at 8-1, 19 in the current poll. Boy, Nebraska's been so impressive, haven't they? They've been pushed to 5 a couple of times by Creighton and by Kentucky, but along with Texas, really, really complete teams going into conference play. Good play by Weejay. Love that set. Reese Messer with a magpie.
She makes back setting look far too easy. As a setter, unable to see your target, her ability to have those quick hands, high extension, that's the deception. And then she has this tendency to kind of shift her shoulders and open up, really delivering that ball closer to the net.
On the other side, as soon as I say that, misconnection that time, looking for Hayden out of the middle, but Maria Sturbu from Bucharest, Romania, maybe will be there as well in terms of assists. Todora Krikovic leading the way for Indiana, Malaya Long, and Reese Messer among freshmen at 10.45 per set so far in the assist category. Oh, that ball just missed out of bounds, and looking at a challenge. Keller of USC.
Potentially there, they pulled a green card. That angle.
USC is challenging that the ball was in.
Paul, that's a tough one.
Yeah, very close. It was so interesting. Brad Keller talked about challenging, and he went and he looked right at the lines person. I mean, eye to eye. And, well, doesn't look very confident. I'm going to challenge. I think the lines people, the officials all do a wonderful job. It's bang, bang, and very, very close and high speed.
And for those new to the game of volleyball, the line is considered inbound. So if this ball does in fact touch any part of that line, it's considered in. And I'm thinking it clipped right there. Yeah.
Wonder how I've never called lines, thank goodness, never officiated, thank goodness. But you know, when a challenge, thank you.
After review, the ball was in. We're gonna have a reversal.
There we go. The lines person, when they challenge touch or no touch, or ball in or out, they got to be a little bit nervous over on the sideline.
Here's a look back at it. That's some wild hang time from Taverdi.
So good challenge by USC. The point will be on the board for Brad Keller and his staff. Good call, coach. Got us a point. And USC will retain both of their challenges. 4-2 advantage now for the Trojans. Excellent pass by Phils. And that's going to be a net violation on Weejay on the outside. Transition opportunity by the board for the Trojans.
Oddly, those net faults typically come on the side of the block. That showcases maybe just a bit too tight of a set there, as it came from the attacker in that case.
Yeah, both of these teams coming off this match or this week will have a lot to talk about going into conference play. Nice stab by Johnson. Boy, I like that set in transition. Lots of room to swing. Popescu, good first contact. Popescu to Sturbo.
Sturbo with the dump and kill. We have yet to see her do that. She was almost forced in as her middle was slightly late to get back up. And she was drifting backwards, but nonetheless picks up the kill.
Yeah, really nice contact by Popescu to make all of that possible. Freshman out of Georgia playing in the DS. Deckert. Oh, no doubt about it. Deckert on the reception. Taverdi with a kill.
Taverdi, highly athletic. What you want to look for in a slide attack is, can your attacker jump just as well off 2 feet as they can off of 1? You can see from where she takes off to where she lands, it's about 5 to 7 feet, and really doing a nice job with that window on the slide attack.
Tough serve, kept off the floor. Oh, what a smart swing. Maybe a little bit lucky that time for Cal. And Michaela Hayden off the edge of the block. Tied at 5, fourth set. SC leading 2-1. Excellent serve, pretty well handled that time by Weejay, and a smart shot on the pipe.
You call it a smart shot because a triple block up in front of her, which means there are going to be no shortened defenders back behind that block. No one pulling off as the off blocker at the net. So plenty of space to work just over the top.
Out to Phils and through the block and down for 10 and blue. Back and forth between these two teams in the fourth set.
Sturbu's done a nice job on some of those passes well off the net to flatten them out just a bit more to her outsides. It feels like the tempo has just picked up for the Cal offense on the out-assisted plays.
Messer excellent in the joust again, and another one coming. Messer there again and wins them both.
How many blocks does Reese Messer now have?
We will have to find that out.
She just keeps
Reese Messer now with 4 blocks, 13 total for USC. Nice first contact by the libero Johnson, but the connection not there between Sturbo and Phils, number 10 in blue.
I think there was a miscommunication on set selection there to the right side.
Working on Phils. And Sawyer Thompson able to register the kill. One of the key reasons, number 15 in blue, that Cal was able to come back and win the second set.
Another set with just a bit of hang time. I like the ability to have that full swing, the full range, as she spends a bit more time away from the net.
Abigail Agoli, 6'1" redshirt freshman out of Atlanta, on to serve. Sturbu hanging in and playing defense. Well done by 22 in blue in the right back.
Creating a second chance opportunity. They funnel that attack right to the right back corner. She comes up with a dig and gives Cal a chance here in the fourth set.
Deckert, pretty well handled. That was a good serve, and somehow finding a way down through the block. Abigail Mullen registers the kill, now with 11 kills on 34 swings, and cleaned things up a little bit. She was struggling, hitting negative, and now still with 7 errors, but getting in positive territory. She is really going to be key for USC during the course of Big Ten play. She will be right at the top of every scouting report. Good serve down the line for USC.
What a ridiculous serve as well for Balmoina. This is not just a short serve. It actually has plenty of tempo. That's as good as it gets, finding that ball just now on the 3-meter line.
Antonio is back on out of the Dominican Republic. Remember, she scored set point in the second. Working on Phils again. Smart shot. Carbonara off the edge of the block of Mullen.
I like the idea from USC to send that ball to position 1. That means the right back corner, because it somewhat takes the middle. Find the second half of that play.
There's Sophia Johnson. Been very solid at the libero for Cal so far on the year. And good rip into the cross court, timing with Messer and Weijay. Weijay now with 13 kills, that is. Well handled by Johnson. And Antonio, automatic kill. Number 30 in blue comes on the floor for one swing, and both times right to the floor.
She does a nice job finding this angled attack, works those feet back behind the 3-meter line so she can have that dynamic approach back into the ball, swings high off the top of the block.
Good pass, way to fight that off, and Mullen. That's the shot. Remember what Brad Keller told us he said, when I recruit an opposite, you've got to have a line shot. But when Abigail Mullen gets the shot from the right front area 2 all the way into the deep cross court to the opponent's area 1, that's when she's going to really be big time. Good pass. To Verdi, working hard to make herself available.
Without question, she goes on the A set, the quick back set behind the setter, and really impressive too. It's not always going to be the prettiest or the cleanest contact, but the great medals separate themselves by still being able to apply pressure in those moments.
Good serve down the line. Mullen once again, her 4th ace on the afternoon, 14th on the season.
We saw it early in set number 1, just the amount of movement she can find on that serve. This time it's more about placement as she just threads the needle right down the sideline.
Love this look, particularly with a tough server. And again, wonderful job by our crew. Great choice. I mean, that's wonderful of all of you to put that together. How very generous and kind of you. No, I really mean that. And I'm very honored by the International Volleyball Hall of Fame. That's going to be a nice event. My wife and I will be attending back in Connecticut. And my wife is recovering from a very serious injury, so I'm glad she's going to be able to make it. And I can't thank everybody enough. That was very kind and thoughtful. That's very nice of you. Thank you.
Paul, over 30 years of experience and in this great game. What are some of your best memories as this game continues on? Give us one of your top.
One.
We only have so much time, Paul.
Well, one would be the first ever gold medal.
Yeah.
You're going to make me cry here.
Sorry.
You guys are going to get me. Now that will be my last.
Will it really?
Yep.
Well, it's been a joy to watch you work.
Well, I can't thank you all at the Big Ten Network enough. That was really surprising and unexpected and very, very generous and kind. I appreciate it. Thank you, Ken. God, my head is spinning now. I'm thinking of.
I might take over.
We got a match
I might
to
call play-by-play now, Paul.
You got it took me a while, but I've learned how to live in the moment.
Fair enough.
There have been so many. My goodness. Winning one was okay too.
I would say so.
Deckard solid in reception. That's a rip, but nicely dug by Cal. Cal running out of time, down by 6. Block deflection is there. Oh, good try by Phils, looking for some hands, but missed it out of bounds.
If I'm Brad Keller, I'm feeling pretty solidly about my 3 middle blockers. Leah Ford not on the floor tonight, but also someone that has really paid dividends throughout the season. She's taking a little bit of rest this evening, and you're getting a chance to see Mia Taverdi. I'm impressed with her in front of the setter, behind the setter, and also from a blocking standpoint, she's done a really solid job.
Weejay leading the way offensively with 14 kills. Mullen has done a really nice job in sets 3 and 4. That's a good sign for a freshman opposite attacker who take an awful lot of difficult swings against a lot of hands. She had a lot of errors early, and Abigail Mullen has really cleaned that up as the match has gone along. Oh. Taverdi right on cue, Cameron, and another good delivery by Messer.
What's even more impressive about that is she has a fully formed double block in front of her on a slide, and she's still able to score. She's throwing the kitchen sink at him.
Yeah, quick arm, very, very nicely done on the delivery, and the kill as well. And that 20-12 is the advantage. The ace stands. Deckard, back-to-back aces.
The challenge with this serve from Deckard is that it continues to rise. Look at
Cal will take on Virginia and Virginia Tech as they start ACC play. Nice play that time through the block and down. Sawyer Thompson, the 6'3 junior out of Lawrence, Kansas, with the kill, was very good in the middle section of this match. Antonio, number 30 in blue, comes back on. By Sturbu. That's a good play. Carbonera out of the back row. Good communication with Sturbu. Good reaction by Messer to keep the ball off the floor. Fomoina, who's hitting for a good percentage, playing it a little bit safe there. Fomoina, get you her number, 6 kills on 12 swings, make it on 13. And moving the ball around an awful lot. Registers her 7th kill, does Adonia Fomoina.
USC's attackers have really responded throughout the entirety of this match. It was a slow offensive start, but they've continued to increase their numbers. That third set, it was 276 as a team, and now in this set, 357 and as a crew.
Good block. Riley McGinnis closes the door. 23-14 is the advantage.
I go right back to what I said earlier about McGinnis. Really active hands as a blocker. She's going up one-on-one. You can see how she presses them off to the right side, specifically closing down an angle.
Ace serve, a lucky one off the tape to get us to match point. 14 blocks now for USC. Currently the #1 blocking team in the country. (24-14), big advantage. Cal having the quick turnaround, losing in 5 sets last night to LSU. USC beat LSU 3-1 on Thursday, 3-0 on Friday. So a busy week for them. Coming up, Ohio State and Penn State first on the road. USC for the win. Adonia Famawina, and USC wins it 3-1.
Impressive performance from USC. Their ability to improve their offensive efficiency really on display. And not to mention, still remaining one of the best blocking teams in the Big Ten.
So both teams, a lot of respect and a lot of familiarity. These two teams, of course,